You're listening to Satellite Sisters.
What's a satellite sister?
The person you call when the best thing in your life happens or the worst.
The person that gets you up, gets you going, and gets you through.
And every once in a while, changes your mind.
This podcast is part pep talk, part weekly check-in.
Like grabbing coffee with a friend.
Thanks for being here. Welcome to the Satellite Sisterhood.
You're listening to Satellite Sisters. We're so happy you're here today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Leanne Dolan. I'm a writer and producer in Pasadena, California. And I've got the question of the moment, you guys. Pumpkin spice or apple cinnamon? Liz,
Whoa.
what's your answer to that? Pumpkin spice or apple cinnamon?
I'm not a big flavors person in general, but if I was forced to choose one, 100% it's apple cinnamon. Pumpkin spice, no. You can't make me.
Okay. That's my sister Liz Dolan in Santa Monica, California. Liz, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're here
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm actually in Cape Cod today, but usually living in Santa Monica.
Okay. We're going to hear more about that later. And Julie, how about you? Pumpkin spice or apple cinnamon?
Liz, that was a long, complex response to the answer there. Okay. I'm going to admit I've never tasted pumpkin spice. And I want to keep it that way, Liam. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right. That's
in anything. Forget
nothing.
The latte.
I'm afraid of it. Afraid of it. I'm not touching it. I stay away from it. Okay. That's my position. Julie Dolan, oldest sister, Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Liam, did you answer?
No, I haven't answered. I mean, I was going to answer, say apple cinnamon. I'm just a big apple fan, a big cinnamon fan, but I'd like to throw a little love pumpkin spice's way because
you're only saying that because I won't taste it. I know that.
No, I like it in everything but coffee. Like I love the pumpkin and then you add some spices. Sure. Great. A quick bread. Sure. That sounds delicious. A muffin, a cookie. Great. I don't know if I need it in my, Cheez-Its, but in general. Okay. All right. Well, that's very interesting.
You're open to it. You're open to pumpkin spice.
Very open to
the way that Julie is not.
Okay. All right. Today on the show, Liz, you are in Cape Cod, so we're going to hear about your Silver Summit weekend. You have some observations there about getting together with your friends, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Julie, you have Tuesday trends for us. What a list you have.
Right. And something is happening with jeans again. So stay tuned. Okay. It's going to impact us all and not in a good way. Okay.
All right. And I have a rock and roll art heist story because what's better than a good art heist story? Nothing. That's true. We have exciting news about our Dallas event. If you are interested in coming to the Dallas book event where I will be at and Julie will also be at, we have a link for you that we're going to share. Then we have some entertaining sisters recommendations and a few other. We have a very special birthday wish at the end of the show. Stay tuned for a very special birthday wish. But first, of course, we have to talk about the Queen's funeral, a magnificent production this week. And we were treated to just a really unusual bird's eye view. Nicole on the Satellite Sisters Facebook page, she kept us up to date. She was there, and she was there because she willed herself to be there. She was having passport issues. She's a big Anglophile. She wanted to go. She managed to get her passport expedited, get on a plane, stand in the queue for 36 hours, sleep out on the streets of London, and provide us with up-to-the-minute personalized coverage of the royal funeral. And it was something. So Nicole, our hats are off to you because that was amazing coverage that you gave us. We hope that you didn't feel pressure. Nicole,
yes,
we hope, but we appreciated all the close-up photographs you took. It was wonderful. Were you guys checking out her stuff?
Yes, it was like having a family member there, wasn't it? I mean, I was so proud of Nicole. I told all my friends about Nicole too. It was so exciting that she did that.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit jealous that I didn't do that, but I'm very, very proud of her.
Yeah. Thank goodness for you, Nicole, because she was also giving us, I didn't need some other royal expert, Britishy person-y, I wanted Nicole's point of view, American Anglophile on the ground. She was doing a lot of negotiation with her fellow queue line standers, and, getting to know them. She was getting interviewed by media from all over the world, meeting people from all over the world. At one point, she put out a call for, I can't leave the line, or I can't leave my spot on the mall. Can anyone bring me an American flag? I mean, she was working it. That's all I can say. Nicole, you were working it. Hats off to you. And she got super close. I mean,
right.
Really close up pictures of royals on walkabouts and claret colored cars going by, everything you would want from an American Anglophile POV.
I'm sure she's preparing to go back for the coronation, which I guess is in the spring. So Nicole, thank you. That was really great work. If you haven't been able to check out Nicole's pictures, join our Facebook group. It's a private group over there. You just have to answer the questions. Just search us on Facebook, answer the questions, and you're in. She's got a lot of fun posts. But Julie, what do you think in general of the Queen's funeral?
Well, my first thought, sisters, is I thought how much our mom and dad would just have loved the funeral. Don't you? I mean, I can really imagine the phone call from our mother, just going over everything that they watched on TV, every detail, everything, making up British facts, but nonetheless, just, in really savoring it, because the Queen was of their generation. So I think they felt even closer to the Queen than we did. Don't you think?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, mom would have reported on it as if we hadn't seen it at all. So like she would be telling as if she was letting us in on a few secrets. And then there's no doubt that the moment with the corgis would have been just a very special moment for her.
Yes. So, so that
mom also would have just commented on the excellent use of flags, because she loved a flag. She loved a flag statement, and boy, did they make a lot of flag statements. So,
and
she would have loved every minute. And of course, lovely vestments. Mom and dad always appreciate, vestments.
Yes,
it's true.
So I had a really sweet moment just thinking about both of them. But for me, I did get up early. I'm an early bird, as you both know. And I was actually surprised how emotional it was for me to watch the services, because I was thinking it was going to be more like a news event, but there was something about the processions, about just the pace of the procession, the drums, the bagpipes, that I found, you just really could understand the respect, the mourning that was going on. It was really, really beautiful. I loved the two religious ceremonies that I saw. So, and that the pallbearers, they were so dignified, and they had such a difficult job, and yet they made it, they brought, again, so much dignity, grace, and strength to what they did, that it really was amazing. And when they brought out that horse, they were on
the pony, it was a pony.
The pony, Emma, with the Queen's scarf. I really choked up. I did, and I didn't expect to get that emotional, but it really was a beautiful religious ceremony. It was a beautiful event for, the whole world to experience. And I think many people did. So I won't forget yesterday at all.
Liz, what were your favorite parts?
Well, I luckily for me, Eastern time zone in Massachusetts, it was 5:30 a.m., not 2:30, which it would have been if I was home in Santa Monica. So there were 3 of us left here at the Silver Summit. My friend Judy, who owns the home we're staying in, my college roommate Adrian, and me. So we got up at 5:30, and I was just special shout out to Adrian, who made scones for us at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
So that was enjoyable. I thought it was very interesting to watch. I especially loved all of the Windsor stuff, the lead up to Windsor, when you were on those rural roads and you saw the people standing there. And then, of course, the dogs. The dogs. So cute. But one thing I thought about a lot, because I also was thinking of mom and dad, they kept talking about how the family, once all the cameras were turned off, that they would have their own private ceremony. And I was thinking about what it was like for us after mom's funeral, and then very shortly thereafter dad's funeral, that we sort of went back to the house, our brother Jim's house. And that's where it gets, for us, it was relaxed. There was a lot of laughter. There were a lot of funny old stories, and then of course, a cold cut platter from Fortuna's on the post road. And so I just started thinking like, I hope they can just laugh with each other after the funeral is over and just get some kind of cold cut platter. For I don't know what the Windsor equivalent of Fortuna's is, but super casual, like noshing and laughing is what we did, and I wish that for them.
They must have been exhausted at the end.
Looked exhausted.
Yeah, they did. They for British people, they looked emotional and then they looked exhausted. And I thought, how are the women standing in those shoes all day long? I mean, that's and I hope little Charlotte and George just got to jump up and down on the beds afterwards.
Yes.
They did a fantastic
They
job.
were magnificent. Yes.
Yeah. But I agree, Liz. I hope they got some time to process. I guess they will now. So so Nicole, again, thanks very much for sharing everything. A lot of people posting on the Facebook group, sharing their moments, I just like people who are just shooting photos of their television and sharing those.
Right. Well, it really was.
I did that just to remember it.
Yes, it was a worldwide event, Leon. It will never happen again. And it was extraordinary and magnificent. And so thank you. That's what I have to say. Thank you to the British people for doing that. Yeah.
All right, Liz, what's up with the Silver Summit?
So of course, the other major event that deserves reporting on is the staging of a very successful Silver Summit. Now, if somehow you're behind on your episodes, okay, fine. Let me just explain. I got together this past weekend on Cape Cod. There were 6 college friends together, me and 5 of my friends. We all turned 65 this year. We're all class of 79. We all turned 65 this year. So it was one of you, I can't remember which, who dubbed this a Silver Summit in a previous episode.
I did, Liz. Yes. I want full credit because I know you're going to copyright it. You're going to market this. I wanted to go into the Satellite Sister History book. Okay.
Yes.
Carry on.
Okay. All right. So the way this all came to happen, though, which I think is really interesting, is that, we started having regular Zoom calls, the 6 of us. There are actually 7 of us, but one could not come to get a very, very busy doctor speaking at a conference. So, okay. All right. That's a good excuse. So we had started regular Zoom calls during the pandemic. And so 2 years later, this is the first time this group has ever gotten together in any kind of way. So it was really delightful.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you haven't over the years since you graduated.
No,
oh, okay.
No,
well, good for you.
I've seen some of these individual people, but no, we never really had a summit, Julie. But a summit was called for now that we're 65. And so we did it. So a few things I want to report back on. Number 1 was the merch, because you can't have a summit without merch. So I will be posting this in the Satellite Sisters Facebook group and on Instagram, but we did create a logo that says Silver Summit. And I used that logo to make shopping bags and a very special item I'll tell you about in a second. And in our store now, you can get your own Satellite Sisters Silver Summit merch. So I just want to mention that.
See what I mean, Leon? I'm going.
Yeah. Okay, but one thing we don't have in our store that's impossible to put in our store for reasons I cannot explain. Leon, you had suggested fanny pack was the way to go, right?
Right. Just would be fun. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I did find a place online where I could custom make fanny packs for everyone in the group. And, but I wasn't the only one that made merch. That's what I wanted to say. My merch, I was pretty impressed. So I made these fanny packs that had our logo on the front. On the back, it said Marston's Mills, September 2022, because that's where we are. And then on the top, I had a little owl drinking coffee, because when Emily did our graphics for that show, and I was talking about how I don't want to be old, I want to be a wily veteran, she made a graphic of that and used an owl, which I'm now adopting as my own. So anyway, it was super cute. It was a big surprise, and people, of course, they listen to Satellite Sisters, so they know that fanny packs are back, and everyone felt good about wearing their fanny pack. But then our friend Martha, she pulls out her merch, here's the thing with Martha. She has recently acquired an embroidery machine, sisters.
Mhm.
Wow.
Like
Impressive.
embroiders her own merchandise. So she made bags, which are fine because fanny packs and bags are two different categories. And she created her own little Silver Summit logo bag with a sun and the sea on it, which she handmade with like several different color threads. All I can say is when she was talking about that process, you mentioned the word bobbin, which I have not heard since the 7th grade. So,
It's true.
and then people brought other things and there was food and wine. And Judy, who is our host, thought that, well, when you have a gathering like this, you always need some kind of ornament. So we are all going home with lobster ornaments.
Classic. Great.
That's a classic. So anyway, it was really good. People were very happy to be together. Here's one thing that surprised me. I mean, you just gab all weekend about everything, but there was a surprising amount of tech conversation. And, we talk about this a lot on Satellite Sisters, the importance of like keeping up with things and being modern women. And so the number one source of conversation, everyone except for me has an Apple Watch, it appears. And every time we did any kind of activity, finished it, started it, people were talking about what data they were gathering on their watch about whatever thing we were doing. If it was actual exercise, if it was just a stroll in Judy's beautiful neighborhood, whatever. A lot of data gathering on the Apple Watches and a lot of comparisons about what apps and what things and what settings and water and everything. So I don't know. I'm putting this out to you. Do I need to have an Apple Watch to be a modern woman? It's just a question.
I mean, it seems like if you just hang out with other people with Apple Watches, you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Because they'll provide the data to you, right?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
I kind of feel like I don't want any more places where I'm getting messages. That's my thing.
Right.
That's what
Right.
I don't want text messages on my wrist or phone calls on my wrist. Like I'm trying to get away from all that stuff. But if I'm going to be left behind, we don't want that. So
No.
anyway, so the Apple Watch is a situation. Number 2, Leon, this was something you had raised and everybody heard it when you said it on the show. So of course we arranged the group of 6 to use Splitwise, the app that you suggested, where if you're like a girls weekend and everybody's paying for different things, you just put all your expenditures into the app and it tells you who owes what to whom. You use that, right?
Yeah, it was great. And somebody in our group, again, we have a very techie app savvy group. And so those people were on it. It was very handy for sort of tallying up bills and everything at the end.
It was
right.
Yes. We only had one snafu, somebody who by accident put themselves into the app twice. So it meant things were getting split up incorrectly. So at one point we all had to delete and start again.
Okay.
But that always works with an app, just take it off and start again. And when we work to start again, highly recommend. I will say that somebody in the group, I won't name names, the math, there's always a math nerd in the group who wants to double check the math. So also did all of the exact same entries into some Google Sheets. So there was a whole spreadsheet that was doing the exact same exercise as Splitwise. We didn't pay any attention to it.
Okay.
But
that's literally the point of Splitwise.
Yes,
so you don't have to do that. Okay.
People just wanted to double check the math, Leanne. So that was number 2. And number 3 in the tech conversation, this is a little more of a long shot, but I wanted to share this tip. During the weekend, my college roommate, Adrienne, got a call from her husband at home in California that the microwave was not working because the buttons were no longer buttoning. He was touching the thing, the whatever that would be
touch
called.
Screen. Yes.
Yeah. Touching the touch screen was not doing any good. And so how do you reset that? What do you do? So she did a little Googling around. She found this very unlikely suggestion about how to fix that exact problem. And she instructed her husband over the phone that what you have to do is go get your hair dryer, or her hair dryer in this case. Put the hair dryer on the touch screen so you get it hot enough to massage the plastic, but not so hot that it melts, sisters. You don't want to melt it. You got to get it super hot. And then you get it as hot as you can stand, because then you're going to have to massage it with your fingers and you loosen everything up. And then it just sort of solves itself.
That seems like a fire disaster waiting to happen.
God.
I think we should just put a disclaimer. We are not recommending that you take a hair dryer and start blowing it on the touch screen of your microwave.
We were all laughing so hard. This seemed like such an outlandish suggestion and somewhat dangerous to recommend it to, a husband home alone. Anyway, surprise, surprise. I'm here to tell you. Next day he texted back. It totally worked.
Wow.
So that was quite a technological breakthrough for all of us. I wanted to pass that tip along. And then in general, as far as like the socializing, I feel like we had our one giant accomplishment that was really our most important. At one point, we were strolling through the little shops. The next town over is Osterville. And we actually went into a hardware store to kind of look around. Our friend Sarah works in a hardware store, so she wanted to share some hardware knowledge with us. So we were in the hardware store, but then right next door, there was a little dress shop. I think it's called Sarah Campbell, something like that. Anyway, we kind of wander into the little dress shop. We are not, as a group, shoppers. These are not the kind of ladies who would just, let's go shopping. But somehow we found ourselves lured into this shop. And believe it or not, we had already had this lengthy conversation about the fact that Sarah was looking for an MOG dress, mother of the groom, and Ellen was looking for an MOB dress, mother of the bride. They both need these for the spring. We go into the shop. Sarah holds up a dress. This is what I was thinking, blah, blah, blah. But then Ellen, who now she's had submission, together, the power of the six of us together, we actually found the perfect mother of the bride dress for one of the group.
Wow.
Now, what are the chances of that?
No, rare to none.
The wedding, Julie, is not until next Labor Day weekend for her. So just think of the emotional energy she is saving now by buying the dress now. Now, of course, her daughter might get to rule on whether this is appropriate. It's a short dress, but she's not very tall, looks super cute on her. So worst case scenario, Ellen decided, is that if the daughter rules out short dress for the wedding, perfect for the rehearsal dinner. So we really felt like as a team, we came together and supported one of the team in one of the hardest decisions we all have to make in our age cohort, which is usually some kind of wedding garb. So anyway, it was triumphant. And now we've all gone home feeling like as a group, we accomplished something very important for one of us. So there you go. That's my report. Successful Silver Summit.
Oh, Liz, I'm on the Sarah Campbell website. And there is a lot of really cute dresses for mothers of the bride. Unusual ones, sort of dressy, but unusual in beautiful colors. All right. Very nice. Excellent. Good work.
Good report.
I think it's kind of a chain. There are a few around New England.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, that's a common topic on the Satellite Sisters Facebook page is where do I get a mother of the bride or mother of the groom?
Yes.
So, we should put this in the show notes, this website.
Oh, good idea. Okay. I will do that.
Right. Put that down. All right. I was going to do a wedding dress story, but we're running a little long. So we'll move on. And up next will be Julie's Tuesday trends. So stay with us. Julie, you know how we like to refresh for new seasons, don't we? We're often talking about our home decor refresh for a new season. It's fall. Have you done any refreshing there?
No, because it's still 95 here, Leanne, in Dallas. We would like to be refreshed, but soon I am going to refresh. That's my hope that I'm going to be able to do that.
Well, here in Southern California, I feel like I ushered in the new season this weekend because we finally had some cool weather. I did put out some of my fall decor faves. I got the squirrels out. I got the leaves out, and I lit my beautiful Jenny Kane home candle to create like a cozy mantelscape. I think you'd really enjoy it if you saw it. It just felt great and refreshing. Don't you love those Jenny Kane candles? They're so clean and beautiful, and the scents are so crisp. I love my Jenny Kane candle. Have you been
Me
over
too,
to the
Leanne. I mean,
Okay.
I think it's like a little ritual for me at night, like
Jewel.
to fix a little supper and then light the Jenny Kane candle and really set the atmosphere, in my home, because I aspired to a Jenny Kane home. I would like the whole home. I'd like to throw everything in my home out and start over with Jenny Kane because it's beautiful. It is soft, the textures, it's relaxing, it's calm. It's amazing.
Yeah, Jenny Kane Home creates California-inspired classics for any room or mood. Natural textures and inviting neutrals. These are the pieces you're going to love coming home to, like the beautiful Pacific bed in linen and boucle, or the Vista collection. Oh, it just makes the most of every moment. The Harbor sofa and sectional, all linen. It's minimalist. Julie, I can see you with one of those.
Yeah.
If you want in on these beautiful California-inspired classics, here's what you do, Satellite Sisters and Misters. Get 20% off all furniture and home decor, free shipping on furniture, early product access, and much more with a Jenny Kane Home membership. Join at jennykane.com/membership or go to jennykane.com/home to create the space you'll never want to leave. That's jennykane.com/home. And Jenny Kane is spelled JENNIKAYNE. jennykane.com/home. Thanks, Jenny Kane. We know that you've heard us talk about Prose, the world's most personalized hair care. And for those of you that haven't, welcome to Prose Nation. Liz, you love your Prose hair care products. I love my Prose hair care products. What were you looking for in a shampoo and conditioner, Liz? And what did you achieve with your Prose?
Well, honestly, Leanne, I didn't know I was looking for anything. I just thought any old shampoo was fine and any old shampoo was the same. And here's what I learned after I took the Prose quiz. Not true, Leanne. I got my personalized shampoo and my personalized conditioner. That's what I need for my hair, for my climate, which is Southern California. And I'm just so shocked at what a difference it makes. My hair is I wanted shiny and I wanted smooth, and it's totally working for me, Leanne. Totally working.
I would say the same thing, Liz. You don't know you need Prose until you have it. And then you're like, yes. Where have you been all my life? I actually just like the pump that it comes with because I just need 1 pump of shampoo and 3 pumps of conditioner. It measures it out for me in a way that I find incredibly helpful and just creates a consistent look for me. So I love it. And Liz is talking about the 85 personal factors that Prose uses to determine a unique blend of ingredients to treat your exact concerns. It's an in-depth hair quiz that you can take at their website. They have a review and refine feature, so it lets you tweak anything. If your first shipment, you're like, I wish we had a little more of this or that, or maybe you've changed, like your diet's changed, or your dress changed. Super duper easy to use. You can manage everything there. I've used this before. And if you're not 100% positive Prose is the best hair care you've ever had, they will take the products back, no question asked. So for Satellite Sisters listeners, here's what you do. If you want in on this Prose is the healthy hair regimen with your name all over it. Take your free in-depth hair consultation and get 15% off your first order today. That's prose.com/sisters. And Prose is spelled PROSE, prose.com/sisters for your free in-depth hair consultation and 15% off. Thanks, Prose. Okay, we're back. All right, Julie, you have Tuesday trends.
Trends.
You've been busy watching all the royal festivities and now doing Tuesday trends. That's a lot of work.
I know. I've been monitoring several outlets to bring this all together. But the first trend we're going to talk about was a story that was done in the New York Times this weekend. Okay, this is it. Jeans on the young and the stylish. The new look is that the top button remains unbuttoned. Okay. Think of your jeans, think of them zipped up, and then that button on the top, don't button it, just roll it over, okay? So that is not a look that...
What the hey? Is there...
after the pandemic, most of my jeans don't button on the top, so actually could be a lifesaver for me. I may embrace this.
Okay. It's a look, Leanne. And, I was looking at the young girls, they've got the little tank tops on and they've got the unbuttoned jeans. And you know what I say? Do it. That's what I say. Okay. Like if you can pull that off,
Sure,
okay,
yeah.
you should do it, because there's going to be a point in your life where you're not going to want to do it. Right?
Right.
Yeah. No,
Right.
you're right. Mm-hmm.
This is, I'm all for it. I mean, I don't, but here's what I was really worried about. They had a fashion editor for the New York Times, and this whole unbuttoned jean look, she feels that it is really the precursor to a return to low rise jeans. Okay.
Oh no, please.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Please.
I know. I said those words, Liz. Low rise jeans, which, as we all know, those are really flattering on such a teeny tiny portion of the number of women in the world. That
Right,
can
and
wear
it's
low
teeny
rise.
tiny women, not just a teeny tiny number.
Even teeny tiny women can't always pull off the low rise jean look, but that was a little disappointing to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm all for the unbuttoning. Okay. But we're not going back there to the low rise jeans,
No,
are we?
no, we're
okay.
not.
I mean, that's the good thing about the mom jeans, the baggy jeans. They're not low rise jeans. Okay. Anything but those. So we're going to have to keep monitoring the situation. We're going to have to keep bucking against the tide, not to have those come back to haunt us. Okay. Second trend for you. Do you use Airbnb or vacation rental by owners? Both of you, you've
Yes.
done that. Okay.
Yes.
So you know that when you rent those places, there's a cleaning fee sometimes attached to it. And since the pandemic, the costs for cleaning fees, for example, in Airbnbs, has risen almost 10%. Okay. Because perhaps there was more cleaning going on. Due to COVID, they had to buy extra materials to clean, whatever. But the other thing that's happening now with Airbnbs is that the owners are asking the renters to do more when they leave, like the little to-do list, like, oh, hey, could you take the garbage out? Or, hey,
Run the dishwasher. Yeah.
Run the dishwasher. Hey, start a load of laundry. Well, now the list is even longer. Okay. Now they're like, yes, you have to take the garbage out, or you might have to take the garbage home with you because we don't have a dumpster for you to take the garbage out, or you have to change all the sheets on the bed, or you have to vacuum. And if you're renting, it's sort of an issue because, you're getting a grade too as a guest. So so I don't know. What do you think of this trend where owners of our Airbnb are asking renters to do more to the places?
Well, no, I'm not doing that. Well, isn't that then just a regular rental house? Then that's what we used to do when we just like rented a house or borrowed a house from a friend before you left. You'd obviously do the laundry, remake the beds, but the whole point of paying for like some stranger and paying, are they still instituting a cleaning fee or
well,
not?
they may have a cleaning fee in addition. They're just tacking on this to-do list. So,
well, I don't know. One of the tricky things about this is you might not know your list of responsibilities until you check in. And then plus it uses up a lot of your valuable vacation time.
Yeah,
It's like the afternoon of the last day, you're cleaning the house.
And then
maybe
you're
we should
worried
all go
about
back to hotels.
that's what I'm thinking. I mean, and if you're worried that you're going to get a bad grade as a guest because you didn't clean well enough or you didn't vacuum. I don't know, Leanne, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm staying in an Airbnb in Connecticut when I'm there because the hotel prices have just gone through the roof. But really, once you tack on, like, I'm already paying the taxes, I'm paying all sorts of hotel-like fees, so I'm not really getting a great deal. And so, no, I don't also want to change the sheets on your bed. I forget it. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Particularly if you're there 1 or 2 nights, that's really a lot to ask people.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So what we're not in on this. I don't know if you disagree or if you've, I just don't think there's any big cost savings, just as you were saying now, because the cleaning fees have all gone up.
Right.
And then if they ask you to do, I don't want to clean someone else's house.
Yeah,
Forget it.
you know,
I'm
and
out.
it's remember how Airbnb started? It was like Uber, where it's just supposed to be, oh, people loaning you their couches and
Yeah,
their spare bedrooms, and oh, we're all in it together, and oh, this is the way the world should be. And now it's just taxes and fees and demands and expectations. Now they're hotel rooms. So
Yep, yep.
I would rather, it's kind of interesting.
Okay. Third trend. Maybe I don't know if they have this in LA, but there is a New York grocer, Wegmans. I think we've all been in a Wegmans store in New York.
Mhm.
They announced this week that they are ending their self-checkout app. Okay. They developed an app so that customers could go into their stores using the app. They could scan, bag, and pay. Okay. But what they
That sounds so bad. Just okay. Before I even hear what this is about, that just sounds like a terrible way to buy your groceries. But okay, go ahead.
well, you're eliminating the whole checkout, Liz. That's what
know.
this is supposed to be. And particularly during COVID, where people were really interested in not having a lot of contact with people, that this app, customer app, seemed like it was really solving a big problem. But here's what Wegmans found out. Instead of scanning, bagging, and paying, they were just grabbing and going. They were not, they were not. There was rampant shoplifting. So much shoplifting that Wegmans is not even disclosing what the losses were like. But they have people were just taking stuff. That's not right, people. No.
No,
you-
but you
They
okay.
were like
So
pretending
you've ever
to
used like a
use-
regular self-checkout line, not an app, but the actual machines? Once you like wave it in front of that machine about 6 times and it's not beeping, there is that temptation to just throw it in your bag. So that's
Liz.
I have never done it.
Liz
I've never done it,
Dolan.
Julie. But you can
Boy.
understand why if it's not working right, all that stuff.
That's why.
like-
That's when you turn and you ask one of the checker helper there to help you. You don't just take stuff.
No, I know, but if
What's
you're
the
doing
matter
it with
with
an
you?
app, if you're doing it with an app, Julie, I'm just imagining what I talked about in the previous segment, where then you have to delete the app and start all over again, and that's not really doing anyone any good.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, I
poor
find
Wegmans.
it unmooring, like to not have to pay. A new Amazon Fresh just opened in town, and that's the whole grocery store where you just wander through. I don't even know if you have to scan. I think you just sort of fire
Just
off.
knows
You
what
just,
you pick up.
put your phone on, turn your phone on, and then you just walk out the door. That I find that just unmooring. I couldn't do it. It would be uncomfortable for me.
Yeah. Well, apparently a lot of people at Wegmans got very comfortable just grabbing
Stealing
and going.
things.
Stealing groceries.
So anyway, okay.
All right. Here's my art heist story. This I read in the LA Times a couple weeks ago, and it just kind of stuck with me. I thought Satellite Sisters listeners might be interested in this because it involves the Eagles. Okay. So here's the cast of characters: a rock and roll biographer named Ed Sanders, an A-list art dealer named Glenn Horowitz, and the Eagles. All right. The classic 70s rock band whose album Hotel California is still the second best selling album of all time.
You're kidding.
No,
Wow.
yeah. I know. Right. Well, people don't buy albums now. So, and they haven't for a while, but still it's right behind Thriller as the second best selling studio album of all time. So here's the situation. At one point in the late 70s, the Eagles wanted to have an exhaustive history done of the band, right? So they hired this young rock and roll biographer, Ed Sanders. He had written for a bunch of different outlets. He'd actually just written a very successful book about the Manson family. And that's how we got to know Glenn Frey, apparently was interested in that topic. And so the Eagles hired him to sort of all access, write the book that's going to define the band. And over the course of that time, they shared a lot of things with him, including, notes and papers. And one happened to be the yellow pad that they wrote all the lyrics to the Hotel California album on.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's pretty. It kind of gives you chills when you think about
Yes.
that,
The
right?
whole album. Wow.
Yeah, like
Not
Don
just a
Henley.
song. Okay.
Don Henley was the lyricist, and so he and Glenn Frey, he said, had discussed it conceptually, and then he went and wrote all the lyrics to it was a concept album, so to all the songs, and it's on this yellow pad, and this writer Ed picks it up, and he works for years on the book, like 10 years on the book, and by the time he finishes the 4-volume book on the Eagles, the band has broken up, and they just don't really follow up on the project at all. So what happens is apparently Ed just kept all the notes, including this yellow pad. And for 40 years, he held on to the yellow pad of lyrics to Hotel California. And then I guess Ed needed some money. So he decided to sell it, even though it wasn't really his to sell, or was it?
No, it wasn't.
Julie, that's the legal question here.
It seems like he was grab and going there, Lynn. There was no standing
Julie,
whatsoever.
Exactly. Yeah. He's Liz Dolan in the self-checkout line. Well, so he contacts this A-list art dealer, Glenn Horowitz, who has, really one of the best and has sold all sorts of important collections back to museums and things like that. He represents estates often, and so he's very well known and very well respected. And they decide to package this up and sell it. But here's the interesting thing. Guess who they decide we'll sell like 4 pages at a time instead of selling the whole thing. So guess who their first customer is?
Don Henley.
It's Don Henley.
Yeah.
Okay.
He ends up selling like 4 pages back to Don Henley. And, I'm sure with all this like fake made up provenance, I mean, he's selling Don Henley's own work back to Don Henley. But Don Henley, it's been 40 years. So he doesn't really remember how this guy got his lyrics, but all right, he'll take it. And then they're like, hey, we got 4 more pages. And that's when Don Henley goes, wait a minute. Wait a minute. How did you get that? And so he ends up calling the Manhattan DA's office. It's like, hey, I think this guy stole this thing from me, and now he's trying to sell it back to me, which is basically blackmail, and I don't really like it. And apparently Don Henley is very litigious. He enjoys suing people.
Oh, good.
He's sued tons of people, and the DA's office said, yeah, they actually have filed criminal charges. He said the manuscripts were stolen by the author. And then according to the DA's press release, he said, despite knowing the materials were stolen, the defendants attempted to sell them, manufactured false provenance, lied to auction houses, potential buyers, and law enforcement about the origin of the material. So now you have these like 3 rather well-known people, the author and 2 art dealers and an auction house person, all up for charges of possessing stolen property and conspiracy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think this is a podcast waiting to happen.
I know.
It is. It could be quite a trial. Yes.
Yeah. But apparently, rock and roll memorabilia people are always fascinated by it. Even the smallest pieces, there's account after account in this article, and we'll put a link in the show notes to the original LA Times piece. It's full of facts that I'm not getting to here. People are fascinated by it. It's not even like it was selling for $1 million. Like the first, sale to Henley was $8,500. But they just said people want to own a piece of social history, so it has a very high value in terms of PR value for the people involved. And so it's worth it, and that's why they risk things for it, because it's just kind of always fascinating to people. So
I just will be one to watch here now. Lynn.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just think it's a lesson to learn. I mean, I feel like we should try to fake sell our Satellite Sisters notes.
Yes.
I thought about it.
Okay.
We could pass our original white papers from that original meeting in
the flip chart. Yes.
98, the flip chart. I still have it up in my closet in the Satellite Sisters archives. I'm not going to pass it along. Maybe we could get some cash back for those notes, you guys.
Sounds good to me. Yes.
I haven't seen any sales of podcast artifacts out there. Podcast artifact collectors springing up, but it's only a matter of time, Leanne. You are correct.
I mean, we could be the first, Liz. We were podcast pioneers. So, circling back around.
And I have some T-shirts from the very beginning too. Okay. Those are going to be
Coffee stirs stirrers. I've
Yes.
got some coffee stirrers and
I got some
coasters.
mugs. We got some good items.
So, anyway, just think about it, you guys. Think
Okay.
about it. If we're looking
All
for a
right.
revenue source.
Yeah, we don't even
Uh,
need to heist it because we've got it all in our
Yeah.
garages and attics. Okay,
But
good idea.
it's sexier if we pretend it was heisted.
Yes.
So
mi-
there's just
yeah.
yeah. So think about that.
Okay.
All right. And then I just want to do speaking of art, let's go back to painting. I just want to do a follow-up on the game we played last week, Guess the Paint Color. I have a Guess the Paint Color part 2. First of all, I want to thank the Satellite Sisters listeners for coming to my aid. I told you the story of how we had to guess the paint color in my son's room because we were trying to do some touch-ups, or my husband was, and we guessed wrong and we ended up having to repaint the whole room. It looks better and we love it, but it was a lot more work. Now we have another room, the office / former guest room, where we moved some artwork around. So there were holes in the wall that needed to be spackled. So we also needed to guess that paint color. So I didn't go into that last weekend, but we had also bought the wrong paint color twice for that room. So
Sounds
so
like
now-
another fun weekend. Yeah, good.
so, but here's the thing. Big thanks to Marlene and her husband, Steve. They were listening to the show, and Marlene commented, her husband is a contractor, said this happens all the time. So he said, next time he suggested removing a light switch or an outlet, or cut out a nickel-sized piece of the painted wall. He said most paint stores can scan the color and match it and record all the info, brand, finish, color name on the back of the light switch. The info is
Wow.
always there and it won't get thrown away.
I thought that was a genius
That is
recommendation.
genius.
Leanne. Yeah.
So I passed this along to Barrick, and he took the light switch off the wall. We took it to the paint store. They scanned it. They came up with the name of the color, Shaggy Bark. Now, here's the deal. We had already tested Shaggy Bark, but we had tested it in the wrong finish.
Oh.
Barrick had bought like a low sheen, and I'm like, I bought that paint. I think it's eggshell. He kept saying, no, I'm sure it's low sheen. I'm like, no, because I bought the paint hours before we left to take your dog, Liz, to Reading.
Oh,
Remember?
okay.
We did that.
That sounds like
cannonball
another
run.
super fun weekend you were having.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, we did the cannonball run with Hooper when you had your accident. And while we were gone driving 1,200 miles, my son Colin and I, 600 up, 600 back, Barrick painted that room. But he called me at like Friday afternoon and said, go get some paint. And I know there's no way I would have bought exterior low sheen paint for an interior room.
No, you would
So
never
sure-
have done that.
No, I was like, trust me, it's eggshell. Sure enough, he bought it. Eggshell, looks great. Marlene and Steve, hats off to you. Thank you
Wow.
so much. We did it. Shaggy Bark was the name of the color. FYI.
Okay. We'll be sure to comment on it the next time we're in your home.
Thank you.
That is really a fun name for a paint color too. Shaggy Bark.
Well, that's why I remembered it, Liz.
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
guessed the first time, I'm like, oh, I think it's Shaggy Bark. That seems really familiar. And so when it was the wrong finish, it looked much darker. But in the eggshell finish, looks perfect,
Okay.
Liz. Looks
Nailed
perfect.
it. Nailed it.
All right, Liz, we had a funny moment in our production meeting yesterday when we both discovered that after the last time we talked about Rothy's on the show, we both went and bought the same Rothy's shoes, like immediately after the show.
Well, you really sold me on the silver, Lee, and I wanted to, I need some new shoes, partly because nobody's wearing any heels anymore. I look at everything in my closet like, no way I'm putting those back on my feet. So yeah. So I bought a pair of nice Rothy's flats in silver, and they are delightful. Can I report? Delightful.
That's exactly the same shoe I bought. You know, we love our Rothy's, and Rothy's can be your new obsession for fall and every season after. They're comfortable right out of the box. They come in amazing styles and colorways, and you can wash them. So you can get your wardrobe ready. You can freshen it up. It's as easy as Rothy's shoes. And they have so many colors you can wear from season to season without going out of style. It's really easy to see why millions of women wear Rothy's every day, and why Liz and I went and bought the exact same shoes without any consultation whatsoever. I think the silver, Liz, is a nice fresh color.
Yes.
And I got some comments right away when I started wearing it, like right out of the box. Boom, I'm wearing the silver Rothy's. I also think it's a great travel shoe, right? It's easy to pack. And then I think it would be a good shoe, like if you were going to a party and you maybe had heels in the beginning of the night and wanted to put your Rothy's on halfway through.
Oh,
you know what
that is
I mean?
genius. Especially
Right?
if you had sparkly Rothy's,
Yeah.
then it would be cool. Even if you were at some fancy event, that's a genius idea, Lian.
Thank you very much, Liz. I'd like to pass that along here in our chance to talk about Rothy's. I mean, obviously they have a million colors and styles. They're all great. You're going to find what you want at rothys.com/sisters, but check out the silver. I think you'll enjoy it. I also got a belt bag, Liz, AKA fanny pack. And
You're kidding.
No, it's really great looking. I'm gonna fill you guys in on the next time we have to talk about Rothy's on the show. But I'm taking that on tour with me. It's very, very cute. Very cute. So here's what you do. If you want to see these silver shoes, if you want to see the new belt bags, if you just want to be obsessed, and spend a couple of minutes checking out the Rothy's website, we encourage you to do that. You're going to find your new favorite shoes and get ready to be asked, are those Rothy's? Plus get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/sisters. And Rothy's is ROTHYS.com/sisters. That's rothys.com/sisters. Thanks, Rothy's. Julie, it is pot roast season, and you have no idea how happy that makes me. I mean, there is nothing I love more than getting out my Dutch oven, cooking up a pot roast, and having that on a Sunday night. That just says family to me. That says kitchen, doesn't it?
It smells so delicious. And I happened to see on your Facebook feed that you made a pot roast this weekend.
I did. I mean, our temperatures finally dropped, and I finally had a chance to use my beautiful new Caraway Home Dutch oven. It was so hot all summer in California. I wasn't Dutch ovening things. I was sauteing, sure, but I had not Dutch ovened. And I was like, it's time. I can use it. Oh, I love it. You know what's nice about it? I mean, we've talked about this non-toxic cookware and bakeware collection from Caraway Home. I've been talking about it. It's great. Okay. It's modern. It's chemical-free coating. Food can be prepared with a peace of mind with no hard to pronounce compound that's going to leach into your pot roast. It's just easy to clean. It's super easy to work with. And it comes with its own storing and stacking system, which is amazing. But
which is good for you, Lian. You need a system. Yes.
Thanks, Jewel.
Just a little zinger on this side. Yeah. Well, they have those beautiful new pots and pans. Yeah. And I think, when you get to a point in your life where your pots and pans start to wear out. Right. So this is the time, right? Yeah. That's an age bracket, I have to say.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not there yet.
No.
Zinger. Okay. But you know where I am? Like, Dutch ovens can be heavy, but not the beautiful Caraway Home Dutch oven. So it's really easy to take from the stovetop into the oven, take out of the oven, but put in the fridge. I did it all, served up the pot roast. Absolutely delicious. So I encourage you all just to go check out carawayhome.com/satsisters because it's a terrific offer, a limited time offer of 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for Satellite Sisters listeners. So visit carawayhome.com/satsisters or use code SATSisters at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern.
Okay, we're back, and I love to double diss in the last ad there, sisters. Very nice, snappy repartee.
Don't you keep each other on our toes?
Yes. Good job.
Okay. But you know what? We're going to be together in Dallas in less than a month, and that's going to be special, right, Julie? There'll be no double dissing at our Dallas event. Okay, so now we can give you a few more details. We told you to save the date, but Julie, why don't you fill people in because you were the producer of this event?
Yes, I am. Well, as everyone knows, Lian has her wonderful book, Lost and Found in Paris. She's coming to Dallas, and I wanted to do something special. And there is no place as special as Rise Restaurant. That's RISE restaurant in Dallas. This restaurant, you step into it and you are transported to France. They make souffles. Okay, Leanne and Liz, I know I've taken you there when you've come to Dallas.
Mhm.
It is the most charming, the most French place. And I just thought it would be a perfect location to have, a book signing for Leanne. And lo and behold, Rise, the owner, Hedda Dowd, read Leanne's book. She loved it. And she agreed to host Leanne's book signing. So this is quite the thrill that we are going to be doing a book signing on Thursday, October 13th from 3 to 5 p.m. Now, here's the thing that's really key. We're going to post a link, Leanne, right?
It's posted. It's ready.
It's posted.
We're ready to go.
Ready to go. You have to make a reservation for the book signing because it is a small, charming restaurant, and it would get way too clogged up if everybody came at the same time. But what I want to tell to all of our satellite sisters, that this restaurant would be an ideal location to come. You may want to come for lunch, have a souffle, get an early reservation, and they get Leanne to, buy a book and get Leanne to sign it. And then you can put it together. They also sell other things, French things in the Rise restaurant. So you can put together some great little gifts for the holiday season coming up. Or perhaps you want to come a little later. You can do that. Again, have a dessert souffle in the afternoon. Wouldn't that be delicious? So anyways, it's going to be, Leanne is going to be signing books. I am going to be in the bar. That's where I'm going to be standing. Okay. And I'd be happy to meet any of our satellite sisters and we can share a glass of champagne together. How about that?
Yeah.
This sounds so fun.
Julie did a great job because she was just looking to host a small event, but then the woman had to embrace the book.
Yes.
And said, we'd love to have her, which is really unexpected. And they do have an amazing little gift shop. And I had gone there to buy all kinds of gifts for my early readers of the book and send them out, beautiful tea towels and things like that. So I'm just thrilled to be at Rise, but it is a very specific thing. You have to sign up for a slot. And then you can either sign up for an early slot or a late slot, but we have the link. It's at leandolan.com/events. It's in the show notes. We will spread the link around on social media. There are number of slots, and you do have to sign up for a specific slot at a specific time. This is how they run the events there. But as Julie said, it's a little bit more flexible than the sign up looks. She'll be there.
And then you can linger. You can definitely, after you meet with Leanne, you can definitely linger, sit down, have a little souffle, enjoy your time there. So it can be a very nice visit with Leanne, with me, and at Rise restaurant.
Yes. So that is October 13th from 3 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Big thanks to the team at Rise. They're really doing a fantastic job organizing that. Also confirming October 22nd at Dayton. In Dayton, Ohio, there will be just an informal 4 to 6 p.m. Satellite Sisters meetup at the hotel where I'll be staying, the Marriott at the University of Dayton. I'm happy to announce that Carrie got the day off from work, so she'll be there. Satellite Sister Carrie she had to work for a couple of weeks to get that day off. So Carrie, I look forward to seeing you and Debbie and anybody else that wants to be there. Also at the Pequot Library in Southport, Connecticut on October 27th, and then Long Island, East Meadow Library on October 29th. All of these are on my events page. The events page has all the links. All of the events are slightly different. And most of them involve some pre-registering. So that's just what I can tell you. But if you go to my website events page, everything's up to date now as I have it. But looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that.
That is great. Okay. Wow, I'm tempted to go to Dallas for.
You should. You're invited.
Souffle action.
I mean, the souffles are so good.
Yeah, they're extraordinary.
It's just such a charming restaurant. It's just an honor. I'm just looking forward to the whole thing. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, it's time for Entertaining Sisters. And I am going to make a podcast recommendation that comes from a book recommendation. And there's a little bit of a backstory here. So hang in with me. But it all has to do with our old friend and former executive producer, Corny Cole. Okay. So you may have seen in the news last week that Oprah just announced her new book club pick. And the title of the book is That Bird Has My Wings, and it's by Jarvis J. Masters. It was originally published in 2010, and but Jarvis has been a prisoner at San Quentin since 1981. And while in prison, he's written several books. He's become a Buddhist. His whole life has changed. And so he's had quite a few things published. So this book is something that Oprah read a while ago, but now has decided she wants to focus some attention on it. And the reason is, while he was in prison for armed robbery, which he freely admits that he did, Jarvis was convicted of conspiracy to murder a prison guard in 1985, and he was sentenced to death in 1990. And because the case was about a correctional officer, he was in solitary confinement for 21 years, 1985 to 2007. He has always insisted that he is not guilty of this crime. He was convicted. They said they know he didn't kill the prison guard, but he was convicted for allegedly having created the weapon. Anyway, while on death row, he became a Buddhist, and he became very friendly. If you know Oprah World, you may know of her friendship with Pema Chodron. She's an American Tibetan Buddhist and nun. Well, Pema is also very good friends with our friend and former executive producer, Corny Cole. And so that's how Corny came to know Jarvis and his story. So my recommendation is that because you read Oprah's book picks, if you read That Bird Has My Wings and want to go deeper into Jarvis's story, Corny created a whole podcast series about it. It's actually 2 seasons that covers him, his childhood, his case, and many of the people who have grown to love and support Jarvis. And the name of that podcast series that Corny created is Dear Governor. And the reason all of this is back in the news is because next month, Jarvis has his first federal hearing to overturn his conviction. So there's just been a lot of energy and a lot of scrutiny around this case recently. So there you go. I know it's a long way to go. The name of the book is That Bird Has My Wings, and the name of Corny's really good podcast series is Dear Governor. Okay. Did I get that okay, sister?
I think
Yeah,
you
you
did a
did
good
it.
job. Very
You did
clear.
it.
Very good.
Yes.
Yeah. Corny's podcast is excellent. So
yeah, and and hats off to Corny, because she's one of the people that's been out there sort of advocating on Jarvis's behalf all this time, along with Pema Chodron, and he has a whole law firm that is doing his appeals. So there are a lot of people that have been supporting Jarvis for many years, and now it's kind of coming to a crescendo.
Well, as we saw yesterday with the serial case, that things can turn around. New evidence can exist. All kinds of things can change if people take another look at the case.
Yeah, that serial case is really amazing.
It's amazing.
To see him walk out the door yesterday, unbelievable. Okay, there you go.
Okay, on a very different note, if you're like me, now that the funeral is over and are wondering, well, what do I do now? You don't want to go back to regular life. I have a way to transition, and that is with the 10th, this is the 10th year of the Great British Baking Show. So there's a new season. It just dropped. Got all your favorites are back. Paul Hollywood is there. Prue is there. It's on Netflix. You know the format. You know how wonderful it is. They've got a whole new group of bakers. And it was I watched the first show, and it just was very comfortable. You're comfortable to be back. It feels good. It doesn't feel repetitive. You feel like this is really going to be a good season.
Okay.
Now, because I've watched all the previous seasons, I can look at the bakers and predict which ones are going down fast. But I did want to share with the group that I think Janus is going to go all the way. That's the way. He is my pick for season 10 to win Best Baker, because he cries, which I love, and I cried when he cried, and I think he brings a precision to his baking that is going to appeal to the judges. Okay. We will see.
His showstopper really showstopped you. Okay.
Yes, Liz. Yes. Okay. So it's back. Get on it. It may help you transition from the beautiful funeral into the real world or not.
The real British world.
Yes.
One thing I
Okay.
like about that show is they don't try to fool the viewers, because very often, Julie, you can tell really from the first episode, like, oh, that person really knows how to bake. Like there's not,
Yeah.
it's Top Chef and stuff. They kind of bait and switch you a little bit. You don't really feel that with there's not a lot of guile with the Great British
No.
Baking Show. So-
Anything could happen, and everything has happened. That's why it's hard to predict. Yes.
All right. I want to recommend a really fun book. It has, again, not a light title, Killers of a Certain Age by Queen mystery writer Deanna Raybourn. And it's fun for this group, I think in particular, Liz. It made me think of your birthday show because this is about a group of 60-year-old female assassins. Okay.
Oh, I like it.
So
That
part
gives
of
your
the-
life a mission.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they've been working for this organization called the Museum, and they think they're being sent off on a retirement cruise, but not so fast. And things start to turn, and all of a sudden they're back in the game. These 4 women who have spent 40 years as professional assassins working with each other. And the characters are really fun. They pop off the page. You're jet setting all over the world to fun locations.
Oh, that sounds good, Leah.
Spycraft. Yeah. Julie, I think you would love it. Part of it is set in New Orleans, so that's a lot of fun. But the whole premise of the book is like is plays with the idea that when women are middle-aged, they disappear in society. Well, if you're an
Yes.
assassin, that's a good thing.
Yes.
So it
right.
kind of turns that metaphor upside down. So I really enjoyed it. Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn is the name of the book.
Okay. It sounds also, Lynn, like they are wily veterans.
They
which
are
is
wily
important
veterans,
too.
Liz.
Yes.
Yes. And
Do
that's-
they need a fanny pack, Liam? Because our sister Liz can
I know how
set
to make
them
them.
up.
I know how to make them.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I won't go into it too deep, but that's the point, is that they have sort of human skills as opposed to the new technology skills that these
Yes.
new spies.
They're not
and
wearing
killers and
iPhone
assassins.
watches, right? Okay,
right.
good.
Because they're old school and old, it helps them. So that's
Okay.
older, not old, at 60. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. Killers of a Certain Age. All right.
Okay.
You may have noticed last week you got no pep talk, even though I was stalking up a storm last week. Here's the thing. I am really on deadline to finish my next novel. And I was just on a roll last week, so I couldn't write pep talk. But guess what? You're going to get a double issue. This
Double
week. It's almost
issue.
all written
Woo.
already. So that's coming out this Friday, double issue of pep talk. And then I am going to take the next week off because I'm on deadline. But you'll have my witchy book list in here, this book list. I have some recipes, a little essay. I have some fun to-do list items. So double issue of pep talk. If you haven't signed up for that, please do. You just go to satellitesisters.com and a pop-up sheet will come on 2 or 3 seconds into your visit, and just fill your name and email in.
Okay. Looking forward to that. Well, I often mention how much we love it when you rate and review our show, whether you listen on Apple Podcast or Stitcher or Spotify or whatever. It does help us. But we got a super duper international review this week. And I'm just going to say, about to read you the review. The headline is, "You really can't get any more Swedish than this, sisters." So here's what the review says. "Love all of you, 5 stars. Great podcast. Been listening for years. Never get tired of you. Great content and lovely voices. At the moment, building Eket from IKEA in my apartment in Stockholm. I really appreciate your company. Feels like you are cheering me on. Love, Glotter 7676. So a Swedish listener building IKEA furniture while she's listening and reviewing our show.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it would have been. Maybe she's also eating a meatball and just didn't bother to tell us. But anyway, this was super specific, lovely review. Thank you so much. Anyone who ever wants to just share your thoughts about the show on whatever podcast app you use, we really love it when you do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you to Sergio Enriquez, our engineer. Thank you, and editor. Thank you so much, Sergio, for putting the show all together for us. Thank you to our graphic designer, Emily Loudermilk, who does the great graphics. If you want to see Emily's work, you can follow us on Instagram at Sat Sisters or subscribe to Pep Talk. We always use her fun graphics there. A big thanks to the ad sales team at True Native. Also, a big thanks to our sponsors for supporting our show. It really does make a difference that you support our sponsors. So thanks to you too, the Satellite Sisters listeners. It makes it possible for us to do the show, and we appreciate it. Big to do. First, I want to wish a very special birthday to a longtime Satellite Sisters listener, Josie Pina. Hi, Josie, in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada. She is turning 75 this week.
Excellent.
Her daughter, Robin, messaged me on Facebook to let me know that it would be great if I could wish her mom happy birthday. So happy birthday to you, Josie. I am Josie's Facebook friend, so I've been stalking her on Facebook, and Josie has a fine time up there in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada. She looks like she has a lot of fun, loves her family, and loves strawberry cheesecake. And those are all fantastic things. Fantastic
Happy birthday, Josie.
Very good.
Wow, and another very international listener. So we enjoy.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, well, speaking of birthdays, what's on my to-do list is to cook up a present for our sister Sheila. Now, unlike the other siblings where, birthdays aren't that big in our family, and that, many times it's quite acceptable as a sibling to send a card, to send a text of birthday wishes. But that's not true for Sheila, right? I mean,
That's true.
Sheila has expectations about her birthday and what others should do to celebrate her birthday. So she's having a birthday at the end of the month, and that's what I'm going to work on this week.
Oh, okay. Well, I also have a birthday to do, but also I saw Sheila last week, and she had a birthday gift for me. So the good thing about Sheila, it goes both ways with Sheila. She
Yes.
enjoys getting a gift, and she's good at giving gifts. So thank you, Sheila. Okay. So my to-do list for the week tonight, as I said, here I am on Cape Cod. I'm going to visit our oldest brother, Jim. We don't mention Jim very often on the show. We often mention his children, Megan and Catherine. But it was also Jim's birthday last week. His birthday is the same as mine. Jim also had a major milestone birthday. He's the oldest of all the kids in our family, and he turned the big 7-0. But what he did on his birthday is not something I will be attempting anytime soon. He rode several mountain stages of the Tour de France. Okay. So
good for him. Good for you, Jim.
Good for you, Jim. That's what we say. Happy birthday. Good for you, Jim. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing Jim and his lovely wife, Mary, tonight here on Cape Cod. It's going to be very fun to have a little bit of, birthday celebration for both of us.
Oh, great. Say hello. Say hello for us.
Okay. Give them all the best.
I will do that.
All right. We also want to wish our listeners who celebrate a happy Rosh Hashanah this week. And sisters, have a great week.
You too, Leanne.
Don't forget, call your satellite sister.